scapular muscle. They have a stronger compensatory paravertebral on the right side than the left. You'll see a little more backstrap, a little more emphasis with development on the right side like this guy does or has. Here's a little, I don't know, this is I assume a woman because you can see the drapage going on, but look at this right side. Just see how much more developed it is. That shoulder blade's all the way down and forward. Look at the forwardness of that right shoulder. Bilaterally lordotic, poorly positioned interscapular muscle, overactive upper trap on the right side, way over. Look at that right levator working. Not a picture of mine, but I like this picture. That's a PEC, right, Chad? See a lot of these people walking in, don't you, in your line of work every day. So these are the muscles that get tight. Serratus posterior is one of them. Quadratus is one of them. Serratus posterior, I said already. Okay, so the tests that you use are outlined in your manual. We do, use a trunk rotation test. But look at all these B's. You see all these B's? And what do you think? What do you think? They're still going to be apically expanded, limited on the right side, but possibly on both. They can't breathe. The only way they breathe, Brianna, that's the way they breathe. You put them on their back and you hold one side down. These people cough. They choke. Oh, okay, I get it. I'm tight. Okay, they can't squat. They can't reach. Straight leg raises are about anywhere from 5 degrees to maybe 25 degrees. I'm kind of exaggerating right now, but am I really, Chad? Not really. They're pretty tight, right, Jen? So opposition muscle we talked about, obliques, non-manual techniques, manual techniques. On your appendix, you have these three. Take a look at them. The wall short-seated reaches, knees forward, hands forward. Backs are what? Rounded and flexed. Paraspinal release, we just showed you. A standing wall supported reach, where you have some banding in a hand and you're laying next to a wall. Anyway, those are all in your appendix outlined. And then, we like two people techniques with these people. The two-person infraclavicular pump. We didn't show that to you. But instead of having, Susan, my right hand on your right chest, my left hand on your left apical chest, I could have had me as a human on one side of your chest, right side, and put another human on the hemisphere of your chest on the left side. And the two of us could have been doing the very same thing that I did with one person. Air in, air out, everybody goes down. Okay, Jen, hold the left side down. Breathe in, right chest, open up. Blow, Ron, hold the right chest down. Ready? Breathe in, left, open up. Jen, let go. Do you follow me? These people love that activity. So two people techniques. Two people quadratus techniques. This right side could be released. We put people on their tummy. I don't usually do a lot of this, but we sometimes will put people on their tummy, Joy, and have somebody assist them in getting this quadratus to release. Again, outlined in your manual. Don't need to become a PRI person to figure these things out. These are good things to do. I like looking at lower and upper mediastinum activity. If you took today, what you learned today in the brachial chain course, second day, everything you looked today, and then flip your thinking around. We needed to get air in the left posterior mediastinum. We needed to get air in the right apical chest. Remember that? Flip it around. Okay? Just flip it around. You're laying on your tummy. And we now need to get air in this left posterior mediastinum. So what activities are we going to use to get that accomplished by? And Jen, that's on page 70 and 71. Is that correct? Yes. Yeah. This is a good way to get air in the posterior mediastinum. As is that. Mike put together, Mr. Cantrell put together recently a good white paper on why men and women develop bilateral rib flares, reflective of PECs, and belly breathers, and people like Kurt, pectuses, concavities, chests that don't expand. Did a nice job. We call it the T8 paper, the inferior T8 syndrome. Remember down here, we got to get this thing to open up and flex better. So I encourage you to read that on page, I think it's only, 2 pages? You guys are hanging in there with me? Tell you what's in the appendix. Are there any questions? Going over that pretty fast. That's all we're going to do on PECs. Okay? Are there any questions about PECs? Joy, don't go home like you don't know how to treat them. You took 2 days on how to treat them. I'll make sure everybody understands that. We get that email probably once, I don't know. When are you going to help me treat a PEC patient? Wait a minute. Did you take the posture respiration course? Then you know how to treat a PEC patient. So I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time. Because you can't treat a PEC patient if you didn't understand what we did the last 2 days. Because even if you got the back to round out and let go, you still got to figure out, test out, make sure they can alternate their breathing mechanism without using the diaphragm for postural respiratory support.
And in the pelvis restoration course, PECs and then patho-PECs
is very
are
well
discussed in lots of detail. Because your PECs will at some point develop into patho-PECs because they have been there so long and they have blown out anterior hips and they're hanging out on Y ligaments all day long. So that's discussed.
You did a real good job.
Probably a full day in that course.
Has anybody taken the pelvis course in this room yet? Yeah. They cover all that, right, Mike? In your appendix, we went over a lot of this the last 2 days. Your restorative tests we've covered. Let's see if we did our homework and we'll conclude. You got some position progression issues for right BC. Non-manual techniques. I think, Jen, thank you for putting that together. Posture respiration, non-manual techniques on page 9. Inhibition techniques. Jen, you want to talk a little bit about the inhibition techniques? This is your baby. Page what? Page 20?
Let's start on page 20, so it just complements that CD. And I think there's 5 inhibition programs on that posture respiration CD. There's paravertebral, there is anterior neck, right latissimus, left pectoralis, left posterior mediastinum.
That's a sign that the course should be over with right there. His wife is saying, honey, course should have been over with. Where are you? Let's start over. Okay, on page 20. On page 20, we got the paravertebral inhibition.
Anterior neck inhibition.
Anterior neck inhibition.
Right latissimus.
Right latissimus inhibition.
Left posterior mediastinum.
She's got to memorize left posterior mediastinum.
And right QL.
Pecs. Look at all that inhibition stuff going on. There's QL, pec. So everything that we're trying to really keep off.
Right.
We want to keep off.
Right intercostal.
How about the left one, left pectoral, and that's all you got. Left posterior mediastinum. Somebody really wants you bad. Somebody really wants you bad, Rick. Okay? Maybe it's your bookie. Here's what we're going to do. When you look at that inhibition program, it's a complementary program. Do you guys understand? It's just there to help you what? Apply some inhibition activities. As you get better with this, Heather, you may say, hey, you know what? That intercostal wall is a stinking little group of muscles I got to try to keep off. I'm going to give you some inhibition activities. What Jen was saying to me a few months ago, Ron, this particular course needs to reflect myokin and pelvis, which has what in it, Sonia? Inhibition. So she gave it to you. That's a gift. This manual is really updated. So thank you very much for going through that. Anything else on the inhibition? Okay. I think we killed it. The diaphragm, if you want to learn more about the diaphragm, as I said earlier, you might want to reflect on that. The AFIR position program, which I referred to the other day. What do you do to position every day? Sequential breathing. We did a lot of that this weekend, didn't we? But if you want to know what sequential breathing is all about, it's in the appendix. What does it mean? Respiratory movements of the rib cage, our breathing techniques. But there's some good breathing techniques, PRI breathing techniques in there. We don't have time to go over all of them. There's 3 pages, I believe, on breathing techniques. Let's look. I want to know. There's 4. There's some good breathing techniques. I'm looking at 49. References, vacuuming breathing, yoga breathing. Evaluation form. consent form. Last thing I want to tell you guys as we conclude this course. Get informed consent, please. Okay? Which means, Gail, hi, my name is Ron. Look you in the eye. I really want to do this manual technique on you for the following reasons. I have no interest in doing anything but achieving this objective goal. Do you understand? Can you repeat to me what I would like to have you do, accomplish, and understand? Can you repeat it to me? Does that make sense? And you'll not get anybody you will not get into trouble. So make sure you get informed consent these days, okay? I want to thank you guys so much for the last 2 days, for letting these home study people listen to your questions, for helping us put this course together. This is an add-on course. We're pretty excited about it. A lot of work went into it. Jen, thank you so much for all the work you put into this. Don, thank you very much for putting up with a fast speaker. You guys fill out your evaluation forms. I'll stick around and answer any questions you might have. Have a safe trip going home, okay? Safe journeys. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.